What if our biggest environmental crises, the plastic-choked oceans, the carbon-saturated atmosphere, our poisoned land, what if they weren't problems at all? What if they were actually the biggest business opportunities of the 21st century? It's a pretty radical idea, right? But that's the whole concept behind the Smaragd system, a plan to literally detoxify the Earth by turning pollution into profit. Let's break it down.
So we're going to start with this a really bold claim from the systems architect Daniel Doerr. This kind of sets the stage for everything that follows. The point here is that this proposal isn't asking for government subsidies or begging for new laws. Nope, it's presenting a business case for healing the planet. Notice that last line. It is not a compulsion, it is an offer.
All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the big picture offer. Then we'll get into the core philosophy, how you actually turn waste into wealth. From there, we'll see how it's applied to our rivers and our land. And finally, how it all connects to, well, close the loop.
First up, a planetary offer. Let's take a look at the foundation of this entire system, which is called the Smaragd quantum loop. So what exactly is the Smaragd quantum loop system? Well, it's defined as the first fully regenerative offer for the planet. But the key phrase to lock onto here is that it's designed to heal damage while creating economic value. See, in this system, environmental health and financial profit, they aren't fighting each other. They're the exact same goal.
And that idea brings us to the engine that really drives this whole thing, a completely new economic philosophy. It's all about moving from waste to wealth. For the last century, our economy has run on what this system calls the explosion extraction principle. Basically, take stuff from the ground, make something, and create waste. It's a one-way street to depletion, right? The SMART system completely flips that script. It's based on an implosion regeneration principle, creating value from circular flows where the waste from one process becomes the fuel for the next. The end result isn't just less damage, it's an actual environmental profit.
And this right here, this is the heart of the idea. Waste isn't garbage. Things like plastic in the ocean or excess CO2 in the air, that's not trash. It's a raw material. And think about it like this. Cities and companies already pay money to get rid of this stuff. That means it's a resource that has a negative price tag. It's just sitting there, waiting for someone to turn it into something valuable.
So let's move from the philosophy to the practice. Section 3, mining pollution. We're going to see how this model turns the cleanup of our rivers and oceans into a serious source of profit.
If you really want to solve the ocean plastic crisis, you have to start upstream. The sources say a staggering 80% of the plastic in our oceans gets there from rivers. So that makes rivers the most strategic place to intervene. It just makes sense.
Okay, so how do you actually mine a river for plastic? The system's called the river stack. First, a gentle curtain of bubbles is used to guide floating plastic towards collection points. It's pretty clever. It intercepts up to 86% of it without harming any fish. Second, the plastic gets collected. And third, well, this is where the magic happens. A process called flash joule heating zaps the waste with this massive jolt of electricity and instantly converts all that mixed plastic trash into one of the most valuable materials on Earth, graphene.
And here is where the economics get really, really interesting. The graphene that's created from that river plastic has a market value of 150 to 200 euros per kilogram. All of a sudden, cleaning a river isn't a cost that a city has to bear. It becomes a brand new revenue stream. I mean, as the source says, waste becomes gold. You're literally taking a pollutant that cities pay to get rid of and transforming it into a high-tech material. The entire process is designed to be self-sustaining and profitable from day one. No government handouts needed.
Now, let's take this same philosophy from our rivers to our land. Section 4 is all about growing the future. This part of the system is called FOSS, which stands for the Pioneer Hemp Oasis System. The idea here is to stack multiple functions onto a single piece of land. You start with something called agrophotovoltaics, which is just a fancy way of saying you install solar panels high enough off the ground so you can still farm underneath them. And what do you grow? Pioneer hemp, a plant that was chosen because it's incredibly versatile and amazing at restoring soil and capturing carbon.
And this is where that value stacking becomes crystal clear. From just one field, you're not getting one income stream. You're getting 6 at the same time. You sell the electricity from the solar panels, you harvest the hemp for its valuable fiber, protein, oil, and CBD, and because hemp is just a beast at sucking carbon out of the atmosphere,
you're also generating valuable CO2 credits that you can sell. It's incredible. So what do you do with the hemp from the field and the graphene from the river? You combine them. And you create a revolutionary new building material called Smaragd Detox. This table shows you how it stacks up against conventional materials. It insulates way better than brick, it's self-healing, and, get this, it has a negative CO2 balance. It's not just carbon neutral, it is a literal carbon sink that you can build a house with. Now for our final section. Let's zoom out and see how all of these different pieces, the energy generation, the pollution cleanup, the regenerative agriculture, how they all connect to close the loop and form one complete, integrated system. And the ambition here? It goes global. The system proposes generating massive amounts of solar and wind power in places like the Sahara Desert in Morocco. Now, the challenge has always been, how do you get that power to industrial centers in Europe? The solution is a high-tech superconducting cable that can transport electricity over 4,800 kilometers with less than 0.5% of energy loss. And here's the really clever part. The cable is cooled with liquid hydrogen, which means you're not just moving electricity, you're also transporting green hydrogen fuel in the very same line. It's an incredibly efficient 2-for-1 solution. And this graphic, I know, it looks a bit complex, but it shows how the entire loop connects. On the left, you've got your green energy production, which is powering the factories. Those factories are using the cleaned up waste to create the building materials. And then those materials are used to build the self-sufficient communities you see on the right. Every single output feeds back into the system as an input. It's designed to be a true win-win-win. It's profitable for the business, it's regenerative for the planet, and it's resilient for society. And these 5 words really capture the core principles here. It's not about finding one single magic bullet solution. It's about creating an entire ecosystem that is modular, sustainable, self-sufficient, resilient, and importantly, designed to last for generations. So we end where we began, with that powerful question. The entire Smaragd system is built on one core belief, that maybe we've been looking at our environmental crises all wrong. Maybe they aren't just liabilities that we have to manage. Maybe they're assets, just waiting to be unlocked. What if healing the Earth really is the best business plan of all?